So my current job is San Francisco Bureau Chief and Tech Editor of USA Today. I'm based out of San Francisco in Silicon Valley, where I've reported for the paper for 14 years. My first job at journalism was this really small place called the Scotts Valley Banner. I'm trying to remember. No, the Scotts Valley Times. The Scotts Valley Banner was our competitor. Scotts Valley Times came out once a week, and then it was moved up to twice a week. It was near Santa Cruz. No one really heard of it. I covered city council and I covered crime right out of college. And the highlight of my career so far was that I actually got a job out of college. I didn't think I'd ever get a job in journalism, ever. My first dream job, let's see. You know, it's hard to call. I mean, for me, any job that was better than the last one was a better job. I'm not sure if I've ever had, maybe I do have a dream job now in the last couple of years as kind of a bureau chief or as kind of a roving type reporter editor. But I really like working for the San Francisco Chronicle. The reason why is that for a lot of people my age back then, working for a daily, a major metropolitan daily, was your end game. If you could work at a daily period, it was great. But if you could work for one that had a circulation of over a couple 100,000, there were only about 15, 20 jobs like that in the country. Now where I work, I think the circulation through one way or another is 5 million. So I've been, to me that's unfathomable. I mean, I can't even imagine circulation that big. At the Chronicle, I think it was 500,000 when I was there. It's since gone down. Since I've been here, it's gone up through different things, initiatives they've tried. But yeah, I think if you work for a national publication and you've been employed doing it for a long time, you get to travel, you get to meet incredible people, and I've been able to meet some of the most famous people in business history. I could retire and I should be happy with what I did. My advice for somebody pursuing their dream job is to never listen to someone who casts any doubt or shows any type of negativity towards what you want to do. Not to speak ill of the dead, but there was a man who I had met, a family friend years ago, who told me when I was first starting out not even to bother to get into this market because there were chances of me getting a job at any type of publication with any type of influence were minuscule. And I kind of ignored him for various reasons. I didn't want him to discourage me. But I think the worst thing you can do is listen to the doubters. I mean, if you believe in what you do and you work hard enough and you persist at it, I think you can probably accomplish almost anything you want to. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but I think your chances of succeeding are significantly higher than they would be if you don't quit. You just can't quit. So if I could choose one person to change jobs with, who would that be? I think it would be, and again, I'm not qualified in any way to do what this person does, but I would love to be close to or on a set for a movie where someone either writes the script or is directing the film or has an imprint on how the final product comes out. I think there's so few of those people, actually. Either that or I'd love to be in a dugout in a baseball team and be close enough to the manager, not be the manager, because I'm not presuming I can do any of this, but I love the idea of sitting next to a manager and figuring out how they manage a game, like somebody like Bruce Bochy of the Giants, who's basically pulled off a minor miracle in winning 3 championships in 5 years. I don't know how he did it with some of the personnel he had, but just to get an idea inside his management, inside his strategy. The most unusual interview I had, and the one that's most memorable to me, is being alone in an office at Pixar right before A Bug's Life comes out, and being in a room at dusk where Steve Jobs and I are literally the only people on the floor, and we're having an interview, and he is being a little bit difficult, and we engage in an argument. He's literally pointing his finger at me. And rather than sit there and take the abuse, I actually fought back, which prompted him to shake his head knowingly and say, I really enjoyed this conversation. And as I was getting up, as he was shaking my hands, I was so tempted to take a swing at him and to punch him rather than shake his hand. And I just realized how difficult it would be to work with somebody like that. But he enjoyed the conflict. He enjoyed kind of torturing me. That's the only time he was rude to me. I've met him many, many times and interviewed him many times. It's the only time he was actually hostile to me. And I think it may have been a lot of factors, but I think one was because I actually had an opinion about something involving movie making that somebody there told me about that he disagreed with. This is DreamJobbing with Jon Swartz of USA Today.